What's going on, gun lovers? It's Rizzo. We're back today. We're going to talk about a biggie today. One of the biggest decisions you have to make, and that is choosing your first firearm. All right, so this isn't just any purchase. It's like choosing your first car. It's a little exciting, but it's a bit daunting. And yes, your wallet about to take a hit, but getting it right is priceless. All right, getting that gun that you just like, that just does whatever you need, it's a great feeling. All right, so getting that first gun is great. It's exciting, but then there's 3 rules that I usually try to go by. Reliability, because the gun needs to be reliable. It needs to be all about you. All right, not about what somebody else is telling you that you need. It needs to be a gun that's all about you, and it needs to have room to grow, which means that you can buy a gun and it's not a cheap gun that's just a one-trick pony. You can kind of do whatever you need, which means you can add accessories or whatever that you need to kind of, as you get better with shooting, you can kind of keep that gun, and that gun can help you on your journey to be a better shooter. All right, so like we were saying, reliability is king. All right,
it's the king.
All right, so you're looking for a trusty steed and not a one-trick pony. Where the hell?
No, that was lame.
Where that come from? This gun's got to be your rock. All right, it's got to be consistent, dependable, and ready to roll when you are. So we kind of saying this because we want you to get something good, but you don't have to break the bank. But we don't want you to get something cheap. Inexpensive, maybe, just not cheap. So
hey, don't be cheap.
Price doesn't matter. How reliable it is, kind of matters more than the price. Now, saying I want you to go out there and get, a good first gun may not be something under $200. It may be all you can afford, and if that's the case, you get that and you make do with it. But if you can afford to get something that's a little more, then do that. But it needs to get something that's reliable. So you're going to stick with some of the not necessarily the big names, but some of the better names, a known brand, Even though we know everybody knows High Point. High Point just may not be a first good gun for everybody. What is it good for? All right, so the second thing I was saying is that it's all about you. All right, so this is where you take center stage. Forget about the keyboard warriors and their little 2 cents. The real question is, can you shoot well? And do not skip on the training. We just did a video about training. Knowing your way around your firearm is just as crucial as the gun itself. So get a gun and you're going to learn your gun. So you want to make sure your fitment is right. The gun fits in your hand. It's not the felt recoil is just not going to discourage you from shooting. It's a comfortable grip, comfortable 2-hand grip. You can add accessories to it. So you might want to, if you need a light, whether you want a light or not, people may want to add a red dot instead of using the iron sights. Though I always suggest to shoot your gun at least a few hundred rounds with the iron sights, and just so kind of get a feel for that. So, but make sure that this gun, this is your gun. This is not the internet warrior's gun. This is not your friend down the street gun. This is not what the guy in the store recommends. He could be recommending you a good gun. He could also have a bunch of guns on the back that he needs to get rid of, and he's trying to get them to you. So do your research and make sure this gun is all about you. Whether you want to do concealed carry, whether you want to do home defense, whether you want to do both, find out which gun works for you and what you're trying to do, and that's what you want to go with. All right, so in the last one, like I was saying, room to grow. You may not hear a lot of people talk about this, but avoid the beginner traps. All right, so some entry-level guns seem fine when you're green, when you don't know what you're doing, but as soon as you start getting the hang of things, the limitation hits you like a ton of bricks, and you realize that gun is not as good as you thought it was. It's a bad trigger, poor sights, the grip is bad. Maybe it's a safety on it. You don't want a safety, so all of these things matter. So aim for something that'll still be by your side as you level up in the shooting journey. So you want to call it a starter level gun, but it's just going to be something that kind of works for you, and that kind of fits into it with the reliability and working for you. You want to get something that you're going to be comfortable with, and you can add stuff to it. Most of the things you're going to add are either different sights, a red dot, you may get a light, If somebody tell you get a laser, shoot them.
Hey, shoot that guy.
Do not get a laser. You may want to change the grips or put a new trigger on there. So just make sure you get something that you can update. You know, you can add things to it. Just get something that's not just real cheap. All right. So now here's the $1 million question: what guns do I point new shooters toward? It kind of depends. If you're watching your budget, it's still a lot of quality guns. In the low range, maybe $400 to $500. I would say maybe Canik, CZ, Smith & Wesson even will have something in that, and sometimes maybe a Glock in that $400 to $500 price range. And those are, like I say, name brand guns that are known, that work. So you can get something in that $400 to $500 ballpark. You want to splurge a little bit, get you more of a top notch. I did mention Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson, M&P 2.0, the Glock 19, those are always ones that I recommend. The Smith & Wesson Sig Sauer P320, those are like my three that I mentioned, you know, kind of because those are good for concealed carry and home defense. If you just want to do concealed carry, I always recommend the 365. They got so many variants, you can kind of get them all, but those are usually in that $600 to $700 range. And so beyond that, I don't necessarily recommend spending, you know, $900, $1,000+ on your first gun. But you know, if you think you can handle it, you can. So I usually recommend getting something that is like a compact, not a full size, not a subcompact, just a compact gun, something that works well. So those are my recommendations for you if you're getting your looking for your first gun. All right.
But that's my opinion. I could be wrong.
All right, so there you have it. Your guide to picking your first firearm. There won't be a fling, but a full-term commitment. All right, you don't want a one-night stand. You want this thing to go on for a long time. All right, choose wisely. Train hard. Welcome to the club. Your adventure's just begun. Usually, when you buy that first one and you go out and shoot it, you're gonna want to go and buy more. You want to get another one. So we've been talking about handguns. This applies to handguns, shotguns, AR-15. The shooting sports are great. Getting out there shooting is a stress reliever. So like I said, welcome to the club. Forget them gun control folks that like to tell you all this, that, and the other. The gun depends on the person that's holding it. All right, so we about to get into a whole nother thing. All right, you guys stay safe, shoot straight, keep training. We'll get to you later. Bye, everyone.